Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into ESPN's Fútbol Americas alongside Mauricio Pedrosa, Hercules Gomez. I am Sebastian Salas. Wonderful to be back in the seat and be back with you for episode 476 of this fine program. We are still somewhere keeping track of the history of this fine show. 476. We're closing in on 500, huh? Look out.
Can I write that down? No.
What are you going to do?
Just write it down.
Yeah? For old time's sake? Okay.
I mean, who knows when you'll be back next?
Steady.
Gotta keep track.
All right, lots to get to in this show. We're talking Gold Cup. We're talking FIFA Club World Cup as well. But let's start with the U.S. men's national team, who clinched their spot in the quarterfinals after their second game in the Gold Cup. All that was left here in the game against Haiti was whether or not they would win the group. 2-1 winners over Haiti. They win the group quite easily. Malik Tillman with a goal in the 10th minute, assisted from Brendan Aronson. Dietzen equalized for Haiti off a bad mistake from Matt Freese in the 19th, but it was Patrick Ajimang in the 75th. It gets your ultimate game winner, and there you see it. They win Group D in the Gold Cup. Moving on, Saudi Arabia second, Haiti and Trinidad out of the competition. For more on this game, we welcome into the show a man who has represented the United States at four World Cups, Kasey Keller. Kasey, what'd you think of the U.S. performance tonight in the win over Haiti?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit stale, to be honest. I mean, I was expecting a little bit more, particularly after the early goal, and I thought maybe they were going to then kick on. And obviously, the mistake from Matt Freese didn't help. But there was sections of the match where I just kept thinking, where are the dynamic players that we're used to seeing with the United States men's national team? And Stuart Holden said something the other day against Saudi Arabia. He said there's really nobody on the pitch for the United States who can kind of drop a shoulder and run by somebody. And that was evident again today. There was times when I thought, okay, there's possession, and then there's a mistake, and there's give the ball away in an unforced error. But then other times when I thought, okay, that opened up nicely. Here's an opportunity, commit a player, get players forward. And it was back to what we saw in past matches where then they just step on the ball, pass the ball backwards, and for some reason want to keep possession when Haiti was just going to give you the ball back anyway. There was no real reason to be too worried about overly possessing the ball. So in the end, I thought Ajimang took his goal well, and that kind of eased some of that pressure. Now, to be on the positive side, I think what you can say is they didn't play well against Saudi Arabia. They didn't play well against Haiti, but they found ways to win. And we haven't seen that from this team in a while. So finding a way to win is very important, but against better opposition, you have to play better, as we saw against Turkey and Switzerland.
I agree with what Kasey's saying as far as the word stale for the first half, especially after Haiti gets the equalizer. I felt like the U.S. was pretty passive for a team that's 1-1 in their own country in the Gold Cup. But overall, I think, especially if we look at the 3 games in the group phase, the 3 wins, and this performance today, like, I'm not that negative on it. Because I don't expect a USB team to dominate CONCACAF, with all due respect to the U.S. pool.
I don't think you can expect the USA team to dominate CONCACAF these days. So
I would have expected them to run through this group undefeated. I think, based on what we saw from this team before the tournament, I don't know that I would have expected 3 straight wins.
I think I'm with you there. If I take a look at this U.S. men's national team that played today versus Haiti, and people get caught up with Haiti, the Haiti of old.
Sure, and
not the Haiti of the 70s that was pretty good in CONCACAF, the Haiti of late that's not been very good in CONCACAF. And you start thinking to yourself, well, why aren't they playing this team off the field? Or aren't they playing them off the pitch like they did Trinidad and Tobago? What's going on here? And you investigate a little with Haiti, and Haiti's got some players that play in some pretty good places. France, Denmark, Ecuador. I think only 2 players weren't playing abroad in very good places. They had a defender played for the Switchbacks, and one of the midfielders plays for the Philadelphia Union. Everybody else,
USL. Yeah.
USL. Everybody else,
thank you,
is somewhere that's competitive. So if you think about if this is an MLS combine, this Gold Cup team for the U.S., not that it's a negative thing, but they're not proven international players, and these players that are stepping into these situations have a handful of caps at most, very little international experience. Nothing should be a given, especially with a program that it doesn't matter who's on the field, they're not producing. It doesn't matter who's on the field, they don't look convincing. So all that said, 3 wins, first place in the group, isn't too bad. It's just that's not what fans want to hear. That's not what fans want to see a year out from the World Cup. They were expecting different.
What do you think Pochettino will feel? I guess not just about this game now, but about the group phase as a whole.
But to me, that's the most important thing. What exactly is Mauricio Pochettino taking out of these games? So the first place, 3 wins, that really doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. What matters is which player right now is going to give Pochettino a headache next time he has to give out a list of the players that are going to compete at the highest of levels. And he's trying different. Now he changed the starting 11. Finally, he tried different things.
4 changes from the
4 changes, exactly.
we saw last time.
And if from these 3 games, Pochettino, maybe he can see a couple of things. Number 1, yes, this is not the most talented pool per se, but you can tell that there's going to be a couple of players that maybe will earn a spot when the A team is nominated again. And number 2, yes, winning always helps, because in this same group, if you have a different result against Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, Saudi Arabia, working gets really tough, gets really, really hard. So winning is obviously going to help Pochettino in terms of morale, in terms of going forward and eventually trying to reach a final and maybe having a revenge game against Mexico. But in the end, the most important thing is which players are taking steps forward to being a part of a regular list of Mauricio Pochettino.